I just turned it off for a second, this one.
Okay.
All right.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم ربنا ظلمنا أنفسنا وإن لم تغفر لنا وترحمنا لنكونن من الخاسرين ربي أني مسني الضر وأنت أرحم الراحمين لا إله إلا أنت سبحانك إني كنت من الظالمين لا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم وصل اللهم على محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه وأتباعه أجمعين والحمد لله رب العالمين. We are reading from the words, the 11th word. In order not to go back, we just, inshallah, start to read from the paragraph is stopped, page 138. 138. So we can, the first paragraph, not the first paragraph, the second paragraph. Then announcing their poverty and need. We have mentioned some that our worship of God, or in Arabic, ibadah, it is how we worship God. Starts from defining ourselves. Starts from defining ourselves, making sure who we are, where we are, which capacities we have been given, and what are we going to do with these capacities, of course, with our own existence in this world. So we have to always concentrate on our own situation in this world, our own reality in this world. And then take a position before, according to our definition of our own existence, take a position before whatever you concluded, whoever you concluded that you worship, you are worshiping. However, you have an understanding of the Creator so that you present your worshipful attitude to it. So the author has been really establishing, trying to establish how we should really have an attitude while we worship God. First of all, the process of worship starts from realizing who we are, our own realization. So the author says, then those people who preferred to acknowledge the Creator and preferred to be thankful to Him and express their gratitude towards Him. So those people, the author says, announcing their poverty and need. Before we go to the presence of God, what are we doing? Forgetting about ourselves and concentrating on God, who is the object of worship, is a wrong attitude. You cannot do that. Because you cannot really imagine, you cannot really think of the Creator. Only you can define yourself and accordingly conclude who or what the source of your existence is, or what the source of your qualities in your being. So we have to concentrate that we are poor people. We have to announce our poverty and need. That's how the worship starts. So, I am poor. Poor in which sense? I am needy. In which sense? Not that I don't have money, I don't have money in my bank account, or I don't, I am unemployed, I don't have any income. But no. Poor means I cannot by myself have any means to sustain my existence. I'm poor. I cannot. I cannot provide anything for my existence. I am poor. Just be aware of it. It's easy to say, but that state of mind, that consciousness is essential to start the process of worship. Alaikum salam. And I'm needy. Of course, if you are poor, you are needy. But really, we have to be more substantial in our thinking, in our understanding. For example, I am needy. What do I need? I need food, I need air. These are correct, but go further and deeper. What do we really need? Really need, before food, before air. We need to exist. And I cannot provide any means to sustain my existence. I need to be aware of my existence. It is consciousness. I am nowhere to gain any consciousness. There is no source of consciousness for me, so that I will provide myself with consciousness. No, impossible. So I'm needy. I need to exist. I need to be alive. I need to be conscious of my own existence. I need to sustain my human qualities. I don't want to lose them, that these are what I am. This is what I am. Not somebody has told me. These are my own essential qualities. That's how I am. I am needy. I am needy. If someone asks you, what you don't need, can you answer this person? He said, I need this and this and this, but I don't need that. No. Whatever within the capacity of your human qualities, and whatever you remember, whatever you want, you are in need of it. All our senses expand to, as far as our capacity is concerned, beyond limit. It means limitless. My need is limitless. Whatever I can imagine, I need it. Because not only me, nothing else in the world can be the cause of existence of anything. We all need to have them. We are needy. Nothing in the world is not needy. with this realization, it becomes very easy now to go to the presence of the one who gave us, who provided us our existence, our humanity, our consciousness, our human qualities. It's easy now to go there. Yeah, you are the one who provided everything. It becomes very easy to address the Creator, the source of existence, to your Lord. It becomes very easy. But we have to know where to start first, from where to start first. We need to know that. So, as we have been studying quite a long time, but really making the excuse of the text, we are really analyzing what we should really be doing in this world. Right? Under the guidance of the text, we are discussing our reality, not really studying the text, because we are going so slow. So the author is saying, if you want to worship and express your worshipful attitude towards your Creator, you need to announce your poverty and need first. So after announcing this, being aware of it, it means being aware of it, and maybe as a human being, expressing it with your human qualities. Yeah. If you are humble, if you feel something that you need to be modest, if you are joyful, whatever, and also as a human being, if you are thinking in this way, keep your thought alive. And if you have tongue to speak, say it. Put it into practice. Not only leave it in your imagination. If your own through your physical being also express whatever you have. Right? Don't hide yourself. Don't run away from yourself. So, announcing this in ourselves, the text says they responded with supplication and beseeching to the possessor of absolute riches, displaying the abundance of his wealth and breadth of his mercy. What is he saying here? We have to supplication. Why do we need to supplicate? Why do we need to invoke? Well, to admit our reality, to declare our reality. We have to say, I am needy. Yeah, like a child. Yeah. If you cannot do it, you cry, you call your parents. You call your parents. Say, I need that. But if you don't express it, then you are not really being consistent with yourself, within yourself, if you don't express it. You have to express it. That's why supplication means this, or beseeching to the possessor of all, whatever, whoever is providing everything in this world, whoever is the source of existence of everything in the universe, I have to beseech to him. But declare him as I am. It's not a made-up thing. It is not hypocrisy. If I need it, if I'm simple, if I'm hungry, or if, for example, the room is cold, and you feel cold, you say, is there any way to heat up the room? If I can, then I will do it. If I cannot, I will say, I'm sorry, I'm suffering from cold, as Abi is doing. So their heating system is not working just right time. So they will say, no, I don't, I cannot do it as well. But I have to address the one who provides everything in my conclusion. So how did you conclude? Who provides you your existence? That's your conclusion. Who provides you with your life? That's your conclusion. Who provides you with your human qualities? This is your conclusion. So beseech him. I need you to create me. I need you to give me health, to give me life. I need you, whatever you need. Speak now. Declare. That is how we can start forming the worshipful attitude. So, if someone says, what are you doing? I am worshiping the one who deserves to be worshipped. I'm speaking to him. How do you see him? No. Right? But I am sure of his presence. Where is his presence? I can see his presence. Anybody? Can you see his presence? In my own existence. It means my existence declares, announces his existence. That's why I feel his presence in my own existence. Because my existence is dependent on what? So that is your conclusion. Without your conclusion, you cannot perform worship. First, be aware of who you are and how do you explain your existence. And then you can start the process of worship. In every time you want to declare your neediness, you want to supplicate, you want to invoke the Creator when you need, for example, let's say whether we are aware or not, we need His presence in my life, but sometimes we are put in a position in this world that all the universe has been created in an order that gives me the opportunity from time to time. I can really feel the need for my Creator to give me something. For example, my life is okay, everything is okay. Sometimes I fall ill, sick. I say, oh, I want to restore my health. I don't know how to do that. So while I am trying to attempt the means that may be helpful for me in the order, within the order, I should be aware that this order has been provided by my Creator. So while I am attempting the means within the order, I should bear in mind that I am besieging to my Creator, who is the source of everything. In that particular case, health. So I say, please, I need health. So these are beautiful occasions in our life. When something happens out of our ordinary life routine, like sometimes being in need of something desperately without realizing, no, nowadays everybody's refrigerator is full, so we don't really feel that I am hungry, what shall I eat now? I have nothing. So be in a desperate position. So you say, I'm hungry, but I have food in my kitchen. So I don't feel that I am in need of nourishment, food, because of the conditions that I am really being in. But illness, some accidents, no, sometimes something happens in the atmosphere, maybe extreme cold, maybe tsunami or earthquake, something. They call them disasters. They are not disasters. They are special reminders, occasional special reminders for us that we cannot guarantee our life in this world as they seem to be ordinarily happening. So, okay, we know that the earth is revolving on its own, but we need to be reminded that it doesn't have to be. That is an action of a conscious decision. That's an act of creation of a conscious will. That the earth is revolving, but sometimes it doesn't. Shows it to us. So occasionally we are reminded that we have to explicitly invoke the Creator, saying that, oh please, I want my earth to revolve as it is. It used to be comfortably. Stop this, I don't want it. So it creates in a way that reminds me something. That is the way of training, that's the way of educating, that's the way of making us realize our reality, who we are. What are we doing in this world? If never happens, so-called, we call them, it is a little bit embarrassing to say, calamities, but people know it, or understand this language. When some calamities happen, well, they are not calamities. They are really warnings to make me realize my reality, who I am. So, when something happens like this, I would say, okay, I have to now go back to my Creator, the source of my existence, my God, whatever the name you use. So declare my neediness, declare my poverty, that I accept my reality. So besieging means every time being aware of our neediness. For example, we say that the room is warm now, the outside is quite cold, but the room is warm, although warmth has been provided, but it is created for me. So although I have already have it, but still I need to acknowledge that it is provided specially for me. It's created for me. So I have to speak out. I have to declare it, that I need health. Thank you for giving me health. I need heat. Thank you for providing me heat. If there was no so-called calamities, unexpected, undesired events happening, can you imagine who or what we will be? Anybody? Any guess? There is no calamity. There is nothing explicitly telling you that you are needy. What we do?
You become prideful.
Become?
Prideful.
It means, explain.
You think that you're independent, that you're immutable, nothing could touch you. And you get proud. You know, you think that, at least in my understanding, would be you're untouchable. I guess that's the best way to say it. Assalamu alaikum.
Alaykum salam. Yeah. You wouldn't realize your reality.
Mm-hmm.
We wouldn't realize our reality. We would take it for granted. For example, the air is provided abundantly. We don't really realize that every moment we are blessed with air. We don't realize. Whenever we feel suffocated for any reason, then we say, oh, I need air. That's how we are. It's not torturing. It's not torturing when we are deprived of some things. It is a reminder. This word is a word of training. Training to do what? To know who I am. To know who my Lord is. So use my abilities in order to know who my Lord is, who my owner is, so that I will worship Him. I will express my thankfulness, gratitude to Him. That is the main thing that we have to learn in this world. Otherwise, the rest is just means. You may use it in the right way, you may not use it in the right way, it doesn't matter. You may be poor, you may be rich, doesn't really matter. Doesn't really matter. Whatever you are, however you are made, make most of it and use it in order to realize your own reality. That's what we have to do in this world. So we have to beseech to the one who displays the abundance of his wealth and breadth of his mercy. Everything is given to us out of mercy. Yeah. It means he doesn't have to create anything, you know, but given to us. That we are given. We deserve nothing. Do we deserve anything at all? Can we say that we deserve something? We are given, we are created, we are made. So we deserve nothing. Whatever we do in this world, I worked hard and I strived a lot for something. Oh, whatever we do are the results of using whatever we have been given. So let's say, you know, I studied for so many years and I developed my qualities in order to be able to do certain things. So I worked hard, but you used whatever you are given. You have not created anything from scratch. You used the means, the opportunities given to you. Nothing more. But somebody else may not have used as much as you did, so there is a difference between that is different. But whatever you do, whoever you are, whatever the level you are in the existence or in your status in the society, doesn't matter. You have to say, I am benefiting from what is given to me as a result of mercy. if someone thinks, for any reason, that I deserve something, he has to double think about it. He has to double think about it. I deserve something? Think about it seriously, you will understand that what do I deserve? Nothing. Because I cannot be source of the existence of anything. I must be, how do you say, clever or brave enough to admit that I cannot be the source of existence of anything. I am all using. Brother Zafar, are you speaking to me? Asking this question to me on the screen? Well,
Yeah.
speaking to some, say the same is not from within. Am I wrong?
No, I was talking about your network, your internet connection. Is it
The same,
your-
same, let me see, sorry. Yeah, I think we are on the right internet connection, as far as I know. So, do you think it's breaking up a lot?
It used to.
Oh,
Right now it's.
okay, thank you. So, and declare, these people declare, from you alone we seek help. Everything is from your mercy, and from you alone we seek help. The question, who are we? What does we refer to? Somebody's microphone is on?
Is it, Brother Ali, can you hear me?
Yes.
I'm sorry.
Sorry?
Something is wrong with my system. I can't mute it, but inshallah I'll work on it.
What, do you have an external mic attached to your computer?
No, I'm using my tablet today. I'm sorry.
Ah.
Let me see if I can switch it, inshallah.
Yeah, inshallah. Thank you. Who are we here? When we say we seek help, you alone we seek help. That's a very famous expression. While we are praying, you said, وَإِيَّاكَ نَسْتَعِينُ. All right? You alone we seek help. Who are we?
Yes.
What does we, the pronoun we, refer to?
This is plurality.
I think the whole universe.
Hmm.
We're just getting together with the rest of the universe and declaring that we as the universe.
Yeah. We can comprehend that not only me who is needy of help, but we know that the other creatures, everything in the universe, every quality of the things in the universe needs His mercy to exist. Needs His mercy. That's what we have to be. We have to include our consciousness. So we cannot be selfish in prayers as a human being. Selfish means addressing to God only myself.
Why? Why can't I be? It's
Because
my
it is
prayer.
in you. So that is your attitude, but you have the consciousness or awareness of the rest of the beings in the creation like being in your position.
Yeah, if we don't like acknowledge it, it's like we are omitting the truth.
Yeah, we are ignoring one side of us.
Yeah.
We are ignoring one side of us. It means, for example, I am in front of my Creator, my Lord. I am declaring that I am His production, his creature. I am in need of everything, but within my capacity, human capacity, at the same time, I am equally aware that not only me, you are also in need of his mercy. Not only you and me, human beings, but all animate beings or inanimate beings. They need his mercy to exist as they are. So, as a human being, we are expected to speak on behalf of everything within our capacity, which means universe. So go to the presence of God and speak on behalf of everything in the universe. Don't ignore them, because they are within your capacity. You are aware of it. You cannot ignore yourself. You cannot deny your reality. And you cannot say, like a child, or like a mother and the child. Mother says, I need food. But at the same time, mother says, my child also needs food. We both need food. Something like this. Carry on now, carry on. Every creature is in need of his mercy. But, Tarek, I think you wanted to say.
Yes, so that's beautiful. I think it's also a way to praise God more, not just for creating me, but for creating all this amazing universe. However, I used to think that it means we refer to Muslims, and that's because it says Iyaka na'budu, and so not everybody else, especially human beings, actually only human beings, some of them choose not to ya'budu, so I'm not talking, so how can I speak on their behalf and say?
You are, let's say, a person who believes and admits, actually, leave this word believe, admits that you are made. And listen, for the sake of argument, an example, I am an unbeliever. I'm saying, everything is accidentally happened. According to your perception, according to your conclusion, do I not need my Creator to exist?
No, of course not. But I'm not worshipping him.
Sorry?
But I'm not worshipping him. I'm not
Who?
the unbeliever.
In the example, yeah, I, through my free will, choose not to worship him. But don't you know that I am his production? I need his mercy to exist. You have to speak on my behalf. Because my free will and my free choice of my free will, decision as a result of my free will, binds me, not you. That's why we have to be careful. My responsibility belongs to me. Your responsibility belongs to you. Why do you totally ignore my existence, saying that because I am a kafir, unbeliever, do you think according to you I don't need God to exist? According to you, when you go and speak to God according to you. That is a little bit, that goes a little bit against the grain of the general understanding or conventional understanding of the word, but we have to challenge. We have to challenge it. How? Let's be realistic, not to be exclusive.
Assalamualaikum.
Alaykum salam. Let's be realistic, right? Why should we exclude some people from my worship because they deny the truth, according to me? Of course, everybody is responsible for his own choice. Why should we deny? They may say something different from what your conclusion is, but according to your conclusion, do the stars need the creator of the universe to exist? Right or not? Yes or no? Of course, according to your conclusion, you have to declare it. Do the insects need to exist? Need God to exist? According to your conclusion, you have to declare it. That's how the human beings become the perfect creature, the perfect man. Perfect, which is called in Arabic, according to the language of the Quran, Caliph, Khalifa, Caliph? No. What does it mean? We human beings are expected to be the Caliph of God on earth, means representing, according to my understanding, who God is. God, the creator, is the one, my conclusion, is the one who created me and created a person who says, I don't believe in God. He is free to say, but he created that person. And he created all the abilities of that person as well. So I have to acknowledge it. Even if he doesn't worship God, I worship God. And in my worship, I am not only one individual who worships God. Everything in their existence worships God, declares everything, declares their dependence on God to exist. That's why we have to widen. Not necessarily saying that I agree with this man, with his conclusion, when he says he doesn't believe in God. For example, he doesn't believe in the Creator. He is the result of accidents, for example. When I say, you may say so, but as far as I understand, you need God, the creator of the universe, to exist. So I have to go to my God saying that, oh my God, you are the one who created me and this person. But this person doesn't acknowledge it, none of my business. But can you really send this, the existence of this person to accident? Because he says, I am the product of accident. We cannot explain his existence in terms of accidental happenings. Right? It makes sense, although we have to be careful to think about it, because we are not aware of what we are doing usually when we practice our religious rites. We are imitating it without realizing what's going on in reality. So, as a result of this, if you like, not only blind, without realizing an unconscious imitation, blind imitation, we become for ourselves only and for our own, I don't know, you and me do the same, the members of the same community. So we worship God, only one community. And our worship does not or may not include the worship of the whole universe. That is a big missing gap. Because the Quran keeps teaching us everything in the universe, with no exception, glorifies Him, declares His glorification, His mercy, His absolute qualities, everything. And everything praises Him. So we say everything praises Him, but I don't see some people, as far as their existence is concerned, in terms of my Creator. Where do you put them? Who created them? If someone says, for example, I don't know, is there any person, whether there is a person or not, who said that I'm created by the sun. So if someone says, I am created by the sun, then okay, you are not included in my worship. What do you mean? Do you think this person is really created by sun or by the Creator that you are worshipping now? You have to say, this person thinks in this way. It is his choice. He is free, but I am free to declare my own conclusion that you are the one who created this person as well. That's why when we say you alone, we seek help to exist, to sustain our existence. Everything must be included in it, in your prayer.
Dr. Ali, it's interesting why we are the Khalifa of God on earth, although we are like the ones who don't believe and don't admit, some of us, or a large amount of us. But you have all of the other creatures submitting to God unconditionally, but we are the Khalifa. How come? Like, why us? We don't deserve it.
If as far as your capacity tells you, do you think a fly declares the qualities of its creator? Does it include your existence?
So it's just that awareness that we are aware of everything in the universe that makes us Khalifa?
Yes,
That's
the capacity.
okay.
Capacity. Our capacity. That's human beings. That's why in the argument, in the Quranic argument, the Quran says, the angels said, not only in the Quranic argument, also in the Old Testament, the angels said, why do you create human beings? We worship you and we don't cause any trouble on earth itself or anywhere. And God said that I create a creature. That is the scenario that we are learning where we stand in the whole set of creation. God said, I'm going to create a human being and I'm going to teach him all my names. What does it mean? So yeah, you are, and everybody, and every human being is qualified or equipped with the quality to include the worship or praise of every creature to God. You are aware of it. You will know in which sense. Not only in one sense, to exist, but to be alive or to have certain qualities. Everything has endless qualities, right? Every quality, each and every quality needs the creator of the universe to exist. So you are aware of it. So as far as you are concerned, well, there is no need to claim and speculate that angels don't have this quality. None of my business. I have it. I am aware of it. That's it. That's beautiful.
Does that also relate to the other verse where it says, عرضنا الأمانة على السماوات والأرض فأشفقن منها وحملها الإنسان إنه
Yeah,
كان
it means a human being has this quality.
Wow.
Did you translate that?
I think, I mean, I don't know, the literal translation is
Amana?
we offered
We offered the trust.
the
to
trust to
heavens,
heavens and earth. They
and-
were too afraid to carry it, and then man carried it because he was
Jahul.
Jahud, Zalum and Jahud. Like
He doesn't know how much the quality he has
how
or
big
he
the
has
trust
been
is.
given.
Yeah.
So it means it's not an accusation. It is a severe reminder. So to be careful, you may fail in acknowledging your capacity. Be careful. You may not use it in its fullest sense. Be careful. That's what innahu kana zaluman jahula says. He is that human being is a real transgressor and ignorant, the most ignorant. Whatever the awareness, or however you are aware of your human qualities, you cannot get to the end. So it's so much capacity, that we have been given. Can you imagine? We can at once present to our Creator the praises and the glorifications displayed, performed by whole universe from the beginning to the end that you can imagine. You can encompass all of them. You can engulf all of them and go to God and say, whatever you know, whatever comes to within your capacity, these are all from you. Can you imagine the awareness of this? How beautiful it is? From the very beginning to the very end. And everything, now everything means really endless. Really endless. It means if you really study one atom, you study volumes of books in order to decipher, to discover the qualities embedded in the existence of an atom. So you say, I cannot get to the end. So you say, yes, I cannot really praise you as you deserve to be praised. I cannot really, but my capacity is there. But we are always behind our capacity. That's why we are called Zalum and Jahud. It means really transgressing your real rights and ignorant of your reality, your capacity. Yes, we are. Although we are talking here in general, saying that everything, but how much are we conscious of it? Yeah. For the moment, maybe we are concentrating something, whether I know or I don't know. Everything needs His mercy to exist. Yeah. I have to say, those things that not within my imagination right now, there are hundreds of, endless things that not within our imagination when we say, you alone we seek help from. Yeah, but this is not an accusation. It's a severe and realistic reminder. You know your capacity? Do you know your capacity? We say, yeah, I know. What do you know? Yeah, I can learn a language and two. So simple. Yeah. You can encompass everything with the capacity has been given to us. That's why worship is so worship of God. It's so precious. If you like, so dignifying for a human being. Going to the presence of God, being in the presence of God, saying that everything I can imagine or not, everything depends on you, and I am declaring that you are the Lord of the whole world. I declare. How dignifying it is that you are speaking on behalf of the whole universe and addressing God, not only yourself. We, all of us. That's that we, in its plurality, makes the human beings feel not only himself but everything in the universe. Bring everything in the universe with him and presenting the glorification or the praise of the universe to God and representing the whole universe. That's capacity.
Please help yourself. Please.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Sorry? Help yourself. Yes, can you double check to see if you are connected to the Wi-Fi network? Thank you, Eric. Yes, I checked. I'm sorry. Look, I don't know why today it is. The connection is not good today. For the moment, I cannot do anything better than what we have here. Yes. Yeah. It's the right Wi-Fi connection. People are complaining on Skype.
It's just bad today.
So, it's beautiful, isn't it?
Next one I got.
Dr. I have a question. So when we realize our capacity and we know that we're convinced that there's a creator and we are needy, and the vast capacity that we have as humans, and that we have the need of God for everything in our life. Where is my responsibility? What is my responsibility as an aware human when we see so many people around us that that are not aware of it, and they're, as a species, I'm thinking about the human species. We are doing so many bad things to our environment, for example. Where is my responsibility as an aware being? Is it, do I just praise God? Do I limit myself to my reality? Where?
Can you, for example, if you are hungry, really, and if you find food and feed yourself, do you feel that all those people who are hungry to be fed, need to be fed, do you feel that? What do you do? If you have extra, you share with them. If you have, you share with them. Unless they reject, they don't want to receive the food from you. That's how you are, how we are. We have to take them, take the food to them and offer them. Right. And that's how our reality is. Okay, so and other things as well. There's something else, just a minute. From this week. Alaikum salam, Saleh. So help yourself with this and finish it, inshallah. Just from last week, so it shouldn't be really left over again.
Don't let us.
Okay. There we go. Let's celebrate now. Okay. Sounds good now. All right, thank you. How are you? Mashallah, you could make it. Is the subway working well? Or
I think
The 7 is working.
yeah,
is the
normal.
7 running?
The 7 is running in Queens. In Queens.
Yeah.
Not in that.
Yeah, you have to take the end.
Not, I say you have to change
Yeah.
from Queen's Plaza.
Yeah, like I take the queue and I change the plaza to the 7.
Okay, oh, but it's possible. It's not.
Yeah, it's possible. But it, that's for me.
The trains are whack today, like, even in Manhattan, that are on, between like 8 and
Sorry.
Billie Holiday, you know.
I see why it's
She could sing my soul.
It's really hard to.
Surprised I still had that on.
Is your ringtone?
Oh, no, it's not my ringtone.
That's Judy. Judy.
You're not taking Aisha? Anything? And how about brownie? Yeah. It's homemade brownie.
Thank
You
you.
made it.
I'll be right back. Just gotta return this.
So, any more questions? Anything? Aisha wanted to say something.
Yeah, well, going back to what the brother said about why we, like the Quran uses in the Quran, we seek help, we worship you. You said all of us, everything in the universe needs God, although sometimes they're not aware of this fact, but like even though they're not worshiping, for example, if they want to achieve something, they go to other sources. They go to people, they go to financial resources to seek help. So why in the Quran it says we seek help? So if the we includes even non-believers, even though they go to other sources, do they still, being unaware of that, do they still seek help from God? This is how I understand it. If we include non-believers too, so that means that they're not aware their needs. They go to other sources, but they still seek help from God. Is that what it is?
According to your understanding. When for example, I'm thirsty, I don't believe in God and the Creator anything, example. Then I say, water satisfies or saturates my thirst, quenches my thirst. That's what I'm saying. How about you? What do you think of my position? According to you, is water quenching my thirst or not? According to you. So you have to say, this man is not aware of it, but he needs you, my God. I acknowledge that. You are the one who is quenching this man's thirst. Right? So speak from your perspective, look at the case from your perspective, and as far as your question is concerned, try to let them realize, if they listen to you, that water cannot, no, you cannot quench your thirst. The creator of water, your thirst and everything, is quenching you and really treating you with his mercy. If I listen to you, I am free to listen. If I don't, I am free not to. Don't interfere me, my choice. My Creator gave me the choice. You cannot really deprive me of my choice. But you can make an offer. Like if someone wants to eat, you can share your food with them. And your understandings also you can share with them. Well, if they want to tell something to you, listen to them, and if you can approve it, approve it. If you cannot, reject it. Be free. We keep saying that freedom comes before everything. We have to freely believe in God, and we have to acknowledge the freedom of others as well.
I have heard in conferences, I remember a lady saying that she was donating certain things and she wanted to make sure that it went to a Muslim family or whatever the situation was. I mean, and that's a very narrow way of thinking.
I think so. I mean, we are not criticizing people here. We are trying to get the fundamentals of our belief, where we stand actually. Whatever the others do, none of my business. I listen to them. If it makes sense, I adopt their ideas to myself. If it doesn't make sense, I ignore it. That's their choice. This is my choice.
Actually, so I also like to think of we worship you, we seek your help, as being not. I mean, it's easier to understand maybe for me on the level of like the atoms and the molecules. Like even if the person as an entity does not admit to, I don't know if that's, but I think of like his, like the components of his, existence, and these components, whether he likes to or not, are worshippers of God. Like his atoms, whatever he's made of, are just. Because maybe he is himself not worshiping God, but obviously everything in him is, whether he likes it or not. Like
we shouldn't be afraid of this inclusiveness. Why? If you are aware that is very shallow approach to the reality. Mm-hmm. If you are aware that anything wrong, anything not true does not exist. Are we aware of this? If I say, for example, I made a mistake saying that 2 plus 2 makes 5. Does 2 plus 2 makes 5 exists in reality? Has the creator of the universe created such thing? So my false, baseless claim concerns me, not the reality, not the creation. So don't be afraid that when I say 2 plus 2 makes 5, don't say that God, you created this man. Because 2 plus 2 makes 5 equation does not exist in reality. So if someone says, I don't believe in God, does not exist in reality. So you are not really going to God and saying that this man, including his conclusions, are created by you, because his conclusion does not exist in reality. So that consciousness is very sound, very real. But we are not used to thinking of the reality in terms of existence. We are used to thinking of the reality in terms of, don't misunderstand, sociological or anthropological interpretation of it by people. saying that you are Muslim, you are non-Muslim, you are something, you are an unbeliever, you are an atheist, an agnostic, so I have nothing to do with you. How can I? I have everything to do with him or with her. Why? His existence here is provided for me by my Creator. And even his false statements I hear is created for me to reject, not to accept, not to approve, not to confirm. So how can I ignore it? We cannot. Whatever exists is within our world, and we have to represent existence as a human being.
It reminds me of a speech that I heard yesterday of a neuroscientist. She had a stroke on her left side of the brain, and she was explaining how our left side of the brain makes us aware of our space in the environment, and how it basically makes us aware of our reality. I'm Nariesta, I am this, I am that. But the right side of the brain, it's more holistic. So she had a stroke on the left side of the brain. So when she was experiencing the stroke, she couldn't tell the difference between her atoms or the cells that make up her hand or the table or the cup that she was going to hold or the telephone. She said she experienced this realization that she was the source of energy that was no different from the source of energy of the table or another person. So she felt this. She felt really like, I don't know how to explain it, but, she realized that. And that she said at the end, she realized that all of us have the capacity to realize and, come to the conclusion that we are all made up of the same thing. We all made up from God. We all, we're no different.
We are not different from each other. Yeah, I remember that radio. Just be comfortable. Don't be carried away by political statements. But be a human being. Every human being in Islamic tradition, every human being is regarded as equal to the universe. Right? Yeah. Because you can really encompass the whole creation. Because you are given the capacity to encompass whatever the names of God, the qualities of God manifests here, you can perceive it potentially. In reality, we ignore almost all, except maybe 1% out of 1 billion something. We may not. So perfect the universe is. So we can really encompass everything as much as we know by definition that we are given the capacity to do that. We should not limit ourselves by the definition, the simple definitions people make. In order, I don't know what. They are all practical, and I would say the political elements or purposes are involved there. What I mean by political involvement, not the administration or something. They want to keep the society as a whole, the community as a whole, and make them preserve their identity as they have inherited from their ancestors. But the Quran doesn't teach that. Quran teaches your individual decision. You have to decide. It must be your contribution. So you cannot say, I am a Muslim, I belong to the Muslim community. It means nothing. That is just, that's what I mean by, it is a political statement. It's practical, it means, and political, not necessarily the administrative politics, the parties, etc. No. It is. I'm always afraid of confusing this word. It's a very beautiful word. The siyasat, the politics, it means your social stand, where you stand in the world, right? Your attitude towards the rest of the world, your positioning, your status in the world, where you locate yourself, and putting a label on it, that is politics. It doesn't mean that we shouldn't have any label on ourselves. No. It doesn't mean. But we shouldn't be carried away by the labels as well, and saying that I put a label on me. Let's say I am a Christian, I am a Muslim, and that makes me Christian, or then the label doesn't make you anything. You just identify yourself with it, nothing more than this. That is what I mean by political. Do you agree with me as a social scientist? So that's what we have to do for ourselves, be aware of this, not to be carried away by our political identities. We have to be universal human beings because we have been given universal qualities. Whether we use it all or not, doesn't matter, but we have been given. At this, we have to be aware of the existence of these universal qualities, which makes every single human being a universal being. Think about it. The universe exists for you alone. I exist for you, as far as you are concerned. As far as I am concerned, you exist for me. So you are in my universe. The rest of the things in my universe. So I see the universe from my own angle. I cannot see the universe from your perspective. Right? I have to come to a conclusion for my own universe. What do I see? For example, I say, who created Asim? That's my question. It's not Asim's question. As far as I am concerned, that's my question. Who can be the creator of this human being here? I was a creature. This human being here. Who can be? I have investigated. The conclusion will be my conclusion. Right? That's my reality. The rest is artificial, if you like, dressings. Not real. This is, I call, political. Okay? Let's move one more paragraph.
It's not finished today. Let's have one
We
more.
finished one paragraph. Alhamdulillah. You alone do seek help. It's a beautiful verse, actually. Then they responded appreciatively to the all glorious maker's displaying the subtleties and wonders of his antique art in the exhibition of creatures. Oh. These are, to me, simple, but as far as our accustomed way of dealing with our religious responsibilities are concerned, revolutionary. Why? He's teaching, he's saying that we have to respond appreciatively to the gods, okay? Displaying the subtleties and wonders of his antique art.
Assalamu alaikum, everyone.
My salams to your parents. Eh? Are you going to go?
Yeah, I'm gonna go to Long Island.
Okay. So, subtleties and wonders of his antique art. Look at the expression. Not only art, but antique art. Salih, what does it mean? Why not art only? Why does he say antique art? What does antique mean? Antique means
Preserve.
old, yeah. Not something, for example, if you say, how do you say, this is an antique pencil, what does it mean? It means it is a pencil
From a different time.
made by some people that I don't know, but it brings the news from those people's civilization, for example, levels and qualities of their technology or knowledge, how they treated the world. Although I'm not experiencing them in my presence now, but I am seeing the antique art in my hand so that I can know what I don't know. Normally, I don't know. I wouldn't know. If there was no remnants of any civilization, no sign, remnants, can we know anything about the existence or the qualities or whatever of this civilization? Can we? Nothing, no sign. So the universe is full of, it means the universe itself consists of antique arts. Is there anything not antique? Sorry. These are simple methods. Why it looks puzzling? Why it is new for us? Because we don't really think of religion and belief in these terms. We are not accustomed with it. That's why it looks something needs further explanation. In reality, they don't need further explanation. But unfortunately, when we say religion or religious knowledge or religious training, education, whatever we call them, we don't hear this. That's why we have to really emphatically talk about this vocabulary. That's why you cannot read really fast. So when I read the antique art, I say, I have to pay attention to this. It is an art, I understand, okay, but at the same time, it's an antique art. It means everything is antique. Is there anything in the world which is not antique?
What is the opposite of antique? New?
Not new. That I know. Here it is. I know who made it. I know how it is made. I know what the production of what, whom, which civilization. That we say it's not antique. For example, now, a computer, for example, this one is not antique.
Okay.
But let's say a gramophone. For me, because it is out of the reach of my capacity to see or to realize which civilization produced it. So it brings news to me. 100 years ago, people used to have this technology. How do you know? Look at the gramophone. It's old technology.
But the new technology also brings you the message. It also tells-
But the difference, you are right, everything brings you the message, but everything brings you in reality, in creation out there, brings you message or news as an antique art.
I have a question.
Mhm.
You define antique art as something that is made by people we don't know, but it brings us their news, right?
Mm-hmm.
But doesn't that imply like religion and belief and all of this is made up?
Made up.
Like when you say it's made, it's like emphasize the idea that it's man-made, like belief and religion and the idea of God. Or that's all in my head.
The antique art, it's nothing man-made. Antique art is the things. For example, an atom is in reality an antique art. Brings news from somewhere that I don't know. It means it brings news from its creator that I don't know. That's why I have to see the atom, right, exists right now, is an antique art.
You mean I haven't seen it being made?
No, I haven't seen the source of its existence.
Can be considered as a timeless quality. If you know the time, we cannot describe as an art. Antique art, then if kind of timeless quality, we don't. If we said that which time has been done, and then you cannot consider as an antique. But if you don't know the timeless quality, so can we consider it as a?
Not only time, but that was the definition of the word antique in our language. So here we are going to apply it to its own context. They are antique for me because they bring news from somewhere that I don't know. It means from their creator, which is not within the universe. They bring news to me. That's why it's nothing to do with time, but that was the practical usage of the word antique in our daily language. But we have to use it within the context of this paragraph. We have to say that everything is an antique art because they bring news to me from somewhere that I don't really know. But through studying them, through going their qualities, I know where they were produced, by whom they were produced. Somewhere beyond the limits of this universe. That's why they are antique. So if we go to a place which is not within our perception, it means in this created world. They bring news from somewhere that I don't know, but I can learn the source of their existence by studying their qualities. But while I am studying their qualities, I have to see them as all of them, or as every single individual being, as an antique art, bringing news from its source of existence, God, the Creator. So, endless sources they bring news to me, saying that my Creator has endless qualities. That's why I have to treat everything as an antique art. It's an interesting expression. Right? And now, nothing to do with what we said. So, these are the wonders of his antique art. We have to appreciate it. Yeah. Everything is made by the one who is beyond the limits of this creation, this world. But the source is in other world, not this universe. The question, the sentence says, they responded appreciatively to God's displaying the subtleties, make it simple, make the all glorious makers displaying the subtleties and wonders of his antique art in the exhibition of creatures. Now we understand more comfortably. In the exhibition of creatures. The universe is a place, an exhibition hall, where the antique arts have been displayed, exhibited. Oh, have you seen the universe like this? So have you seen that? Said we are in an exhibition hall. The antique arts of the Creator, the absolute Maker, are being displayed, and I am just looking at them and experiencing them, touching them, examining them, which kind of qualities they have. So the source has given these qualities to this art, piece of art. Right? In this sense, everything is a strange messenger, brings news to me from the world that I don't know. I cannot perceive. I don't know. It doesn't mean I don't care. I don't know. Not in this sense. I cannot perceive, but I can see the traces of that world, the signs of that world in this exhibition hall. Everything in this exhibition hall. It's beautiful.
I wonder, is it possible, or can we reach these universal qualities by alone, or do we need help for understanding these exhibits or the statement?
Ask yourself. Now, for example, we are talking in terms of definitions, that we are given these qualities. You want to develop it, do you? So ask yourself, can I do it by myself, or can I share and I'll go to a school and listen to a teacher, or join a class, or read a guidebook, handbook, whatever. But first, realize that we need to utilize our qualities as much as we can. That's the realization. But however you are going to handle with it, which school you are going to go, which teacher you are going to listen, which textbook you are going to follow, depends on your eagerness in finding out the truth. So you say, okay, I have to find somebody. We have to work together. I'm not very stable in my personal life, so I need somebody to help me. For example, organize my life in a better way. Whatever you feel that you are free. So some people say, I don't need anybody. Can you say, I can't. I can't say that I don't need anybody. So, of course, in general say that I need God. Of course, we need God in every sense, but how about this particular need that I have to utilize or use my qualities, all the equipment that I have been endowed with in the fullest sense. Oh, I have to do something. So look at it. The more we are aware of our capacity, I think the more seriously we take the using this capacity in the fullest sense, so that we will look for other means in this world. Of course, anything we do in this world is an attempt to have a recourse to God, the Creator, because everything is created by Him, And then with this awareness, whatever I do is created from God. Whatever I say, for example, I'm hungry, I eat food, so God is feeding me with food, Creator. So if someone says, we don't need anybody, we don't need scholars, we don't need books, we need God only, you're speaking nonsense. That's not realistic. That's, whatever you do, you need God anyways, if you are aware of it. If someone goes and, for example, takes a class, let's say, joins a class, and reads a textbook, for example, in order to fulfill his human functions in its fullest sense. Do you think he doesn't need God? According to you, he may not be aware. That's his choice. According to you, if someone says, well, I'm hungry and I'm eating food and food is feeding me and saturating me, according to you, is food saturating him, or with food the Creator is saturating him? According to you. It means everything really is left to our personal choices and awareness. Whatever we want, whatever we feel, however we feel. So the exhibition of creatures, it's a beautiful word, eh? This word is an exhibition. The expression is good. So, they responded appreciatively to God, to the Creator. He is displaying all the subtleties and wonders of his antique art in the exhibition of creatures, exclaiming, of course, we are here now, we saw it, we experience it. What do we say? How do we now speak, or what is our conclusion? We have to exclaim. We need to exclaim what wonders God has willed. When I see the art, I have to say, what wonders God has willed. It means how wonderful things He has created. He willed to exist, but He willed them to create. So that's why they exist. So I have to express, I have to say it, exclaim it, with my own conclusion, whatever you see. You go to, for example, you go and watch a film, let's say, and a movie, and you are excited. What do you do first thing in the morning? You want to speak about it and share it with your friends. Yeah, if you have an interesting experience at night, in the morning you go and share. What do people do now, for example? Of course, they usually waste of their human qualities, but you can take lesson from it. They watch on TV some, football competitions or rugby competitions, whatever, and then in the morning they come to office. The first thing they talk about the match they watched last night, and they speculate. They talk about it. It means very human to share your emotions with your friends. It's very human. So, isn't that also human to see this antique art exhibited in this exhibition hall of creatures, this universe? When you come to a conclusion, you say, oh, it's wonderful, it's perfect, it's beautiful, it's nice, whatever. Or, oh, it's frightening. It is an effect on us. I was really frightened, for example, scared of something. You have to say, express it to the Creator. Now, because it is with us, this quality is with us. So you have to say, you created a wonderful universe, and it's beautiful, but last night the storm was so frightening, I was really frightened of express it. If you are, yes. You have to express and say that, please God, don't put me in this position. I need your help. I need your mercy. I need you to remove this storm away. Because I am afraid of it. That's how I am created. But don't criticize God why He created the storm. Turn it turned into a means of communicating with your Creator. I don't want storms. Why? You created me with the sense of not wanting it. That's your choice. And I didn't invent it. So it means that is your will again. That is your will again. To seek refuge to you from the things you create. That's a way of communication. Again. Right? You like the sun, the nice weather? Say thank you. I enjoyed it. With the sense you gave me. You didn't like the storm? Frightening? So, it is created by God again, the quality that you dislike it. Go back to God. Say, you created me with the sense to dislike it. I am coming to you. I don't like it. Please take it from me. Because I cannot stop it. But I need it. I need it. That's another way of communicating. So don't ignore that everything is beautiful, nothing is frightening or dislikable. No. There are things created dislikable by God, and it is a call also from the Creator saying that, come to me and say, I don't need it. And, beseech to me. Right? That I don't like this, take it away from me. And you are the one who can do that. I acknowledge that. Right? Everything is beautiful.
Yeah.
So we say life. Sorry, you wanted to say something?
No, it's a common because one of the main things that I've heard people use to deny the existence of God is when something as horrible as tsunami happens, for example. And they say, why didn't God stop it? If I were God and I created those human beings, why would I want this? Why didn't? But what you're saying is that God didn't need to stop it. God created it in the first place. It's not that He didn't stop it. It didn't happen on its own, and He didn't stop it. He was watching.
He couldn't stop it.
Yeah, he created it.
He creates it.
Of course, it's really terrible, and I'm thinking also of the things that. But you answered that question because we're going to ask that question when something is inflicted on you, like rape, for example, by another human being. Well, that also is another kind of evil that God created, right? Mm-hmm. And you also seek refuge from human beings or nature or whatever else from Him.
So, its existence is not evil. Its existence is not evil, but I don't like it. My not liking it is not evil, because I am created with dislike of it. So we have to understand comfortably. So what we have to understand, that creation of life and creation of death are both equally perfect. Equally perfect. What? When life is the subject, we want to continue and ask God to give me to continue my life. That's what we are given, the ability to ask for the continuation of our life. We don't want to give an end to our life. We don't want our life to come to an end. But equally, when death is created, I said, if there is an occasion that may take me to death, that I understand from the whole system, the order in the creation, I run away from it and say, I don't want death. That's my duty to run away from death. That's how I am created. So if someone says, I don't like death, I say, yes, you are right. You are created not to like death. Right? You are right. Run away from it. When death is created, we say, that is the choice of the Creator. So He has given me life, and He has given me death as well. So that's how the universe has been created, by His will. So I acknowledge that everything is coming from His will. He gave me death in order to teach me that I need to seek refuge to Him from death. So acknowledge His authority in my life. That's what the purpose of my existence here. To acknowledge, to be aware who my Lord is. So these are different ways of teaching. Right? Sometimes, for example, the teacher teaches the students, for example, how to solve a problem, and then to make them sure, to make students sure that they understood the trick in this formula, for example. He gives them question, trick test, right? And students may fall, but by falling into the trick in the question, and the teacher says, no, you haven't learned it perfect. So this is how you should learn. This is the trick. You should be aware, all right? So it is the way of teaching. It is the not really torturing anything. The way of teaching. We need to learn. That's how we are. That's our reality. We love life. We don't love, we don't hate, but we don't want death. But that's how I am created, with these qualities, with life and death. So there is right, there is wrong. So there is always an option to choose wrong, but why the wrong, the mistakes have been created, that the possibility, not an external existence, the possibility that I may fall into that mistake. That possibility is the way that I educate myself. Otherwise, if there was no possibility that I make mistakes, there would be no way to learn anything. Because I don't make mistakes anyway. Why should I learn? I know everything perfect. That's not the case. That's not my reality. Here, this world is the place where we are trained to know who or what the source of my existence is, so that I will know the source of the whole, the existence of the whole universe. So it makes sense. Get together, pull together all the pieces. It is really satisfactory to me. I feel comfortable about it, saying that yes, that is the way I must be hungry in order to acknowledge that I am needy, and I must be fed at the same time afterwards in order to acknowledge that my Creator is feeding me, taking care of my existence, providing everything. These are the ways, two ways of learning the same thing. Let's finish this, the time is yeah. So, exclaiming what wonders God has willed, observing and applauding them, they declare how beautifully they have been made. Now, Now the language changed. Then after this realization, we are not saying that now how beautiful they are. Now our worldview changed as we see the universe as the exhibition of the antique arts of the Creator. Everything, it has been made. How beautifully, how perfect they have been made. How wisely they have been made. How orderly they have been made. How measurably they have been made. What are we doing? We are remembering, reciting the names of the Creator. Right? That's the remembrance of God. They have been made. Right? For example, before you eat, we say Bismillah. We remember God, and while we are eating the food, we say the food is, I like the food. Food is prepared nicely. You know, who prepared it? Your mother, but in the restaurant, somebody else, the cook. So if you are not aware of it, you don't say how beautifully they have been prepared for me. So we may not really remember God. So if you see the food and your neediness for the food, your need for the food, you say, how beautifully I have been fed. So you acknowledge that the Creator of the food is present there. You go beyond the apparent causes. The cook, your mother, or whatever, or the food that you buy, you say, no, they are all made. So the language changes according to your perception of the world. So what blessings God has bestowed. So you say, oh, whatever you see, that it's a blessing from God. I have been bestowed with this blessing from God. We understand. Holding everyone witness. How? They said in wonder, come, look at this. You just share with others. Look at this. Hasten to prayers and to prosperity. Yeah. Why? Come and look at this. Wonderful. Let's praise the Creator. And so we will fulfill our mission in this world. That's reaching the prosperity. The reaching the prosperity is not really being rich, getting a good job or something. Reaching prosperity means how much we fulfill the purpose of our existence. How much actually of your qualities you have used, you have benefited. That is the prosperity. How much, if you like, very simple, how much you are a human being. Yeah, that much prosperity you have reached. How much you are a human being. Ask yourself, how much of your human qualities have we been using, benefiting? That much I am a human being. If I am not aware of myself and say that I am the one, I'm a human being, so I need food, I need air, I need water, and I need family life. Yeah? Okay, that you are that much a human being. It's not prosperity. The real prosperity is to use your human qualities as much as possible so that your prosperity level will be at that stage. How much are you aware of yourself? That's very simple. How much are you aware of your human qualities? How much are you using those qualities? It's very simple. That's how much your value is. That's the value criteria for yourself. Although no one knows who the other people are, where the other people are. Okay, inshallah, we have to stop here. I think the time is really late and you are tired. So, we will carry on from the following paragraph. Next, today is the 26th. Okay. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Do you have any questions, comments further? Or is it like?
One more. I do have dilemma. And when you said that we're supposed to share or to speak loudly, is it if God expect us to put into the words, if God knows my intention, should I still to share? Is the beauty.
Okay. You have your intention and not eating your breakfast.
What was that?
You have your intention to have a breakfast, but don't have the breakfast. So, yeah, I have a good intention to help brother, but do nothing. Don't you know that? Intention must be fully fulfilled. Means you are a human being. You have mind, you have emotions, we have mind, emotions, senses, and you have body, you have tongue, you have hands. For example, if you say, oh, that is delicious, why do you do that? Like this. Why do you do that? No, just come and go to Aisha's house. Let's go one day, inshallah, to circus. And there, Aisha will provide us a good dinner, inshallah, hopefully. I'm sure she will, if we do. So, and I have an intention. I appreciate Aisha's dinner, everything, but I show no expression of it. So, am I not a human being? Do I consist of only intention and mind, imagination?
No, maybe I thought that way. I mean, sometimes language is not enough how beauty is. I mean,
Yeah.
that's
Say
my
it.
intention. So
Say it.
if I say nice, maybe the word is
So,
not.
say it. I cannot express your beauty. My language is not enough.
Okay.
I'm short of words to express my admiration at the exhibition hall in this world. Say it as you are. Declare it. So you need to, we need to, for example, we say, how grandeur you are, exalted you are, great, beyond my capacity. The good prostration. What means? So I acknowledge this. I am nothing before you. I fully belong to you. So accept it and express it as you are. So the best way of doing these things are presented to us through his messengers. So how can I use my hand or my body or my language or my mind and that messengers say, do it in this way? That's what I am trained. I am educated. That's why we follow messengers in this sense. But I can follow the messenger as much as I am aware of the, if you like, the main message he brought to me. If I don't, if I'm not aware of the message he brought to me, so I start imitating him. So for example, let's say a person, a little bit reality, but ridiculous, but what we do, a person is speaking to somebody and doing certain actions, and you are told that this is the best man to be imitated. So you do the same actions without knowing what you are saying. So imitation outwardly has no real meaning, really. But it may have a channel, a help. Say, let's fill it with the meaning. But in reality, by itself, no. So if we say, okay, I know what he said, I'm not saying the same thing. I am not living in the same way as the perfect example lived in this world. It means you are not using your humanity in its fullest sense. We have to be together with our body and everything. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم سبحانك لا علم لنا إلا ما علمتنا إنك أنت العليم الحكيم وآخر دعواهم أن الحمد لله رب العالمين